I don't think there's enough praise to go around for someone who does something like this. This is something that you really can't prepare for. You talk about it, and but we really don't practice water landings in commercial airplanes, and just to the sheer expertise that he demonstrated is just amazing.
So what do you practice, Denny, when you're training for these emergency situations? What do you guys go through?
Well, annually, captains and first officers take 2 check rides a year. Part of that training involves engine failures on takeoff, but normally dual engine failures are not something that is practiced. So this is something where just your imagination and your creativity and your cooperation with your other crew members really pays off.
I'm sure you've been following coverage very closely this afternoon. We were getting reports in of just how the pilot, Sullenberger, made this soft landing we're hearing on the Hudson River. What does that mean, keeping the nose up?
Well, there's more than just keeping the nose up, too. It's keeping the wings exactly level, because if one of the engines should impact the river prior to the other engine, it could turn the airplane, and the airplane could come apart. It's not designed to land like that, obviously. And just keeping wings level and the nose up, and then just to land at a very controlled airspeed is just an amazing feat. And my hat's off to him. And I think we ought to also give special recognition to the flight attendants, because the flight attendants control the departures by the passengers out of the back of the airplane, and that's really, really important, and they deserve a great praise also.
Yeah, they do. A lot of people have been writing into us on CNN.com Live, a lot of former flight attendants saying that they deserve a lot of kudos, and our hats off to them as well. So what do the flight attendants, Denny, go through during something like this? Do they actually activate the rafts? Do they gather up all the passengers? Do they let the passengers go out first? How does it work?
Well, actually, when the rafts are deployed, when the doors are open, that's an automatic procedure. When the doors are armed and they are opened without disarming them, the rafts deploy automatically. If there are some other rafts that are stored in ceilings or in coat closets that have to be inflated once they depart the aircraft, but just getting the women and children off first, making it an orderly procedure, and trying to keep everybody calm. Just an amazing job on their part.
An amazing job indeed. Again, no indication of any fatalities. Great ending to a lot of this chaos that we're looking at right now. 3:30 local time in New York City. You flew in and out of LaGuardia quite a bit. What's tricky about that airport?
Virtually everything is tricky about that airport. The approaches, flying around Shea Stadium to make an approach to land, the departures because of the noise sensitivity of the area, the fact that you have to make turns immediately after takeoff on 3 of the 4 runways or departure paths. It makes it a very tricky airport. Plus the fact that it's a very short runway as compared to what we normally operate on. But very professional controllers, the air traffic controllers and the tower and ground controllers are very special up there. They do an excellent job.
They do an excellent job. And speaking of those air traffic controllers, we were first getting in reports that the pilot tried to go back to LaGuardia or perhaps to Teterboro, which is a small airport, ultimately, of course, crashing into the Hudson. Is that standard procedure to try and go back when you know something is wrong, like a bird potentially in the engine?
Well, of course, you'd want to get back to the closest piece of concrete that you could land the airplane on, and that would be, since they have multiple runways at LaGuardia, trying to get it back on the ground there. It's kind of coincidental that they took off to the northwest, and Teterboro would be the next closest airport, and Newark being the next one after that. Had they take off in the opposite direction, Kennedy Airport would have been directly ahead of them, but there would also have been a lot more buildings and a lot possibly not as receptive an area to land as the Hudson River turned out to be. Actually.
Yeah, receptive, I suppose, because everywhere else in the densely populated New York City is going to be just that, densely populated. So a lot of praise for the quick thinking of the pilot also to land in the Hudson, however scary that may be. You know, I want to ask you just one more quick question. We're getting a lot of questions in from our viewers about the baggage. I know this is a afterthought, but the baggage, what happens there, and potential pets on board?
I really don't know about the baggage or the pets. Unfortunately, I'm afraid that if there were pets on board, that they're not going to survive probably. But the baggage, it'll be waterlogged, but I'm sure they'll get it back.